Good afternoon, and welcome to a cultural exchange meeting. My guest is Vi, who is a chat show host from the US. Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Sue, and I am the head of finance.
My name is Andreas, and I am the head of procurement.
Hey Andreas, you have problems in your country, man.
My name is Tracy and I am an administrative assistant.
Hey Trace, you were not a bad-looking chick.
My name is Steve, and I am the head of estates.
My name is George, and I am the head of strategy and planning.
Hey Georgie boy, we have met before on my show. And for the rest of you guys, I am Vi, the #1 chat show host in the US. Hey man, where's the applause?
Having been invited to chat shows hosted by Vi in the US, I thought it would be appropriate to invite Vi to the UK to sample our culture. It's the first time Vi has been to the UK.
What do you think of our weather?
Hey, you guys live in a deep freezer. It's the 2nd of April and it's freezing. Hey Tony and George, it's no wonder that you're gloomy dudes. You come from a gloomy island.
Vi, I have been preparing my senior management team for over a year now for the economic collapse ahead.
Hey gloomy dude, you have been on my show several times, going on about the economic collapse, and every time you mention it, the stock market rise. Hey, just did a look at the FTSE 100 index. Hey, listen to this guys. The FTSE 100 index has risen by 1.2% today to 6,490 points. The Dow Jones index has risen today by 0.6% to a high of 14,662. Now then, Tony, how much proof do you need to see that we're in recovery?
Gotta agree with Vi, there's no sign of the economic collapse you keep talking about.
Steve, a few months ago, you admitted that you were struggling to pay your bills, and that you were concerned about your ability to stay solvent. What did you do?
I went to see my bank manager. He said that he would increase my credit limit if I could reduce my expenditure. I have cut down my expenditure in exchange for an increase on my credit limit. Instead of replacing my 50-inch 3D TV that I bought last year with a 70-inch 3D TV, having a contrast ratio of 1 to 5 million and a frame rate of 600 headers, I have settled for a 60-inch 3D TV with a contrast ratio of 1 to 3 million and a frame rate of only 400 Hz. You see, I am prepared to make sacrifices.
Good grief, Steve. Your mindset reflects many people who continue to live with increasing debt. Can you afford to make the repayments?
Well, I thought I could until Tony announced further wage freezes at the last senior management meeting. Anyway, everyone is in the same boat.
I have bought the iPhone 5 and still have a good time going down to the pub to get hammered with my mates on a Saturday night.
Hey Trace, do you also work in the building trade?
No, she does not. Getting hammered is a term used in the UK for getting drunk.
Don't you see, Steve and Tracy, reality has not yet caught up with you, but when it does, you are going to be in for one hell of a shock. Your situation reflects what is happening in Western economies. The illusion of wealth is only being maintained by borrowing more from the future. It's not sustainable. Reality is around the corner.
I disagree. Happy days are here again. Go on, Tony. Tell us again that the economic collapse is going to happen, because when you do, the markets will rise even further.
Okay, Vi, let's have this conversation again in September of this year. You obviously do not understand the truly awful fundamentals. You simply see that the stock markets are rising, but do not understand why. You don't realize that the UK and US have been downgraded by the rating agencies. You don't realize that both the US and the UK have record public debt. You don't realize that the baby boomers are retiring and that will put an extra strain on our resources. You don't realize that Cyprus was the canary in the mine shaft. You don't realize that the US ducked out of the fiscal cliff issue, and you don't realize that Congress have delayed the debt ceiling issue from March to May because it is simply too painful to face. Vi, you continue to live in your bubble for as long as you can, but I can assure you reality is around the corner. Who would have thought that the European Union would threaten all the deposit holders in Cyprus with a tax on their savings? Okay, the threat was withdrawn for people who had savings of less than €100,000. but the fact they announced that measure should send warning signals to any depositors. The Cyprus issue seems to have calmed down, and this has been reflected in the markets. But don't be fooled, the fundamentals have not changed. They are getting far worse by the day. I predict a market crash by September and gold and silver to rise, as they will be seen as a safe haven. Please remember these words from the debt bomb song. Run up a deficit, ignore the facts, blame someone else, put up tax. I cannot deny, we had a crack. But now we have to pay it back.